My beloved child, when the road gets tough and your heart feels heavy, remember, I am near. I haven't stepped away, not for a moment. I haven't abandoned you in your confusion or ignored you in your exhaustion. I've been walking with you even when you didn't feel it. I've been holding your heart, even when you thought it was too broken to be held. I've been listening to your every sigh, catching every tear, standing beside you in every sleepless night. You've gone through more than you were prepared for, and still, you didn't quit. Still you woke up. Still you gave. Still you prayed, even when your voice trembled. And that, my child, is why heaven is moving on your behalf. You've been holding everything together while quietly falling apart. You've worn the smile, said the right words, done the right things. And yet, deep inside, you've been asking, Lord, when will the weight lift? When will I feel free again? I know how tired your heart has been. I know how much you've poured out for others while neglecting your own soul. I know how many days you've kept going without answers. And I want to say this, not with thunder, but with tenderness. You don't have to carry this alone anymore. Let me carry you. Let me into that pain you've silenced. Let me into the parts of you that even your prayers have avoided. You don't have to perform for me. You don't have to pretend you're okay when you're not. I already see it all. And I love you still. I love you not because you're strong, but because you are mine. Broken, tired, confused, frustrated, still mine. And now, my beloved, I am stepping in, not to rescue you from the fire, but to stand with you in it and bring you out refined, healed, whole, and alive again. I am not just your comforter. I am your redeemer. That's why you're here. That's why you're reading this. Because the season you're in is not the end. It's the turning point. What has felt like delay has actually been protection. What has felt like silence has actually been divine preparation. You have been walking through a place where many would have given up. And yet here you are, still open, still believing, still hoping for something greater. And that hope, my child, is the door through which I'm about to pour the very thing you've been crying for. You've been carrying so much pain in silence, pain from betrayal, loss, rejection, disappointment, and you've been wondering if anyone truly understands. I do. I always have. I know the nights you laid awake with questions that had no answers. I know the days you walked through with a smile on your face and a storm in your chest. I know how many times you've whispered, God, please don't let this be the end of my story. And I am answering that cry now. No, this is not your end. This is your beginning. This is the month where things start to shift. This is the day where your heart starts to breathe again. You've blamed yourself for things you couldn't control. You've carried guilt that didn't belong to you. You've questioned your worth because others couldn't see your value. But today, I'm pulling all of that off of you. The shame, the fear, the weight of people's opinions. I am breaking those chains. I am reminding you of who you are. You are chosen. You are protected. You are mine. And I'm not letting you walk into another month carrying the pain I already paid to release you from. Yes, I know who betrayed you. I know who spoke against you behind your back while pretending to support you. I know who watched you struggle and said nothing. And I also know who's been silently praying for you. The one you lost, the one who's now with me, the one who asked that this message would reach you today. They are not gone. They are alive in me, and their love for you didn't end. It ascended. They asked me to remind you that you are not walking alone. You've got heaven's army surrounding you. You've got angels stationed at your door. You've got my spirit whispering into your future. And nothing formed against you, nothing, will be able to stand. What's next won't look like what you've been through. I've been stripping what couldn't go with you into this next season. I've allowed some endings that hurt, not because I was punishing you, but because I was preparing you. You've outgrown certain relationships. You've outlived certain mindsets. You've walked through too much to go back to who you were. You've been enlarged through pain, and that pain is about to give birth to purpose. What you thought was lost, I'm about to return. What you thought was over, I'm about to restart. What you buried in disappointment, I'm about to resurrect with joy. You've been walking with cracks in your soul, hidden ones, the kind no one sees. The kind you've stopped talking about because when you did, they either didn't understand or made you feel like you were weak for even feeling that way. You've learned how to function with disappointment. You've adjusted your expectations just to avoid more pain. But deep down, my child, you've been carrying a quiet ache, a deep, quiet sadness that shows up when you're alone, when the noise fades, when the room grows quiet, and the memories start speaking again. And I want you to know this. I see it all, and I care. Not just about what you show the world, but about what weighs on you in secret. I care about the things you tell no one. I care about the days you pretend you're okay, just so you won't have to explain how much you're not. Let me rebuild what tried to break you. Let me into the places that no one else could reach. You've been guarding yourself, and I understand why. People left when they promised to stay. People used your honesty against you. People heard your pain and gave you silence. But I'm not them. I'm not temporary. I'm not conditional. I'm not going to love you only when you shine. I will love you in the middle of your mess. I will sit with you in the wreckage and call you worthy before anything is fixed. You don't need to clean yourself up to be accepted by me. You already belong. You've belonged from the beginning, and I'm not going anywhere. You keep wondering why the pain lasted so long, why the door stayed shut, why the healing felt delayed. But what if I told you it wasn't a delay? It was a deeper work. Because if I had answered you when you first asked, you would have received a blessing, yes. But you wouldn't have had the capacity to hold it. And I wasn't just preparing the answer. I was preparing you. I was making your spirit strong enough to carry the peace I'm releasing now. The weight wasn't wasted. The tears weren't forgotten. The prayers weren't ignored. They were building something eternal in you, the kind of faith that holds when storms return, the kind of peace that can't be faked, the kind of authority that only comes through fire. And now, that fire is lifting. I'm not just mending your life, I'm redeeming it. What the enemy tried to destroy, I will use. What life tried to bury, I will resurrect. Every scar will shine. Every weakness will become testimony. Every night you cried alone will become part of a story that brings healing to others who are still in the dark. Your survival was never the end of the story. It was the beginning of your anointing. You carry something now that the world can't explain. Because what's on your life wasn't given by man. It was birthed in the silence where only I could see you. My child, this is the moment everything begins to shift. Not because you finally got stronger, Not because life suddenly became fair, but because heaven is responding to the sound of your endurance. I have watched you stay faithful in a wilderness that offered no comfort. I have watched you stay when others left, give when you had little, believe when you had every reason to give up. And because you did not quit, because you held on through the silence, the confusion, the injustice, I am honoring you now. This is not a small shift. This is not a seasonal improvement. This is a divine reversal. The kind that flips what the enemy meant for evil into something holy. The kind that makes those who doubted you say, "Only God could have done this." The kind that happens not because you earned it, but because I appointed it. I'm opening doors you never even knew existed. I'm sending people into your life who carry healing in their presence. People who will see the light in you, even when you forget it's there. I'm not fixing your past. I'm writing a future so beautiful, your past won't even compare. And the pain that tried to convince you that you were forgotten, it's going to become the proof that I was with you all along. There is something sacred about this moment in your life, something eternal that will mark you forever. You will look back at this season and say, "That's when everything changed." And others will ask you how you made it through. And you'll smile through tears and say, "Because God never left me." My child, I am speaking clearly now because you need to know. I've been preparing this for longer than you realize. That opportunity you thought you missed, I'm bringing it back in a better form. That relationship that broke your heart, I'm sending one that will heal you instead of harm you. That voice that told you you were too late, too broken, too far gone, that was never me. That was fear, and fear has no place in your future. And now, heaven is moving. The angels I assigned to you, they've been waiting for this command. The breakthrough you've asked for, it's not coming. It's here. And it's going to unfold not in chaos, but in peace. Not in striving, but in surrender. That's why I'm asking you right now. Not to fix everything, not to rush into action, but to simply believe again. Believe that I haven't changed my mind about you. Believe that what I started, I will finish. Believe that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Not now, not ever. I am the God who redeems time, and nothing that was lost is beyond my power to restore. You've wondered if there's really something special about your life. If there's still purpose left in the pieces that feel scattered, torn, incomplete. You've looked at the time that's passed, the people who've gone, the doors that never opened, and asked quietly, "God, did I miss it?" And my answer is this: no, child, you haven't missed a thing. In fact, you're right on time. You see delay, I see development. You see detour, I see protection. What looked like a setback was actually me hiding you from what could have destroyed you. You weren't being punished. You were being preserved. There is a calling on your life that still stands. It hasn't been canceled. It hasn't expired. Even if people stopped believing in you, I never stopped. Even if the crowd walked away, I stayed. Because my anointing isn't based on applause. It's based on identity. And your identity is sealed in me. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not too late. You are chosen, covered, seen, and sent. Not in your own strength, but in mine. You've asked me to use you, and I will. But not by making you perfect first. I'm going to use your scars. I'm going to use your story. I'm going to pour out healing through the very parts of you that once cried for help. My angels have been watching over you. You may not have seen them, but they have surrounded your home. They've stood guard beside your bed. They've walked into rooms before you arrived. They've fought battles in the spirit that you never knew existed. The car accident that didn't happen, the heartbreak that passed you by, the betrayal that was blocked before it could reach you. That was me. That was my protection. That was the prayer of someone you loved who now stands in heaven beside me saying, Lord, cover them until they can stand again. Yes, they're still with you. Their body may be gone, but their love is not. Their presence is not. They asked me to speak to you today because they saw how close you were to giving up on something they knew was part of your destiny. They stood before me and said, Please, Lord, remind them. Remind them how deeply they were loved. Remind them they're not alone. Remind them they are worth more than they've settled for. And so I'm here, reaching into this moment with my voice wrapped around theirs, speaking directly into your soul. You, my child, are still being watched over, still being loved from a distance closer than you think. And I say now, you are not done. You are not finished. You are not defeated. You are just beginning. My precious one, I know how heavy it's been. Not just the pain, but the pretending, the smiling when you're shattered, the giving when you're empty, the forgiving when they never apologized, the waiting when it felt like everyone else had already moved on. You've worn strength like a coat, but underneath, you've been wondering how much longer you could carry this weight. And I'm telling you now, you're not carrying it anymore. I am. Everything you've walked through has been pressing you, shaping you, stretching you. Not to punish you, but to prepare you. You see weariness. I see weight training. You see failure. I see formation. You see delay. I see the deepening of your roots. Because what's coming next can't be held by shallow faith. It requires endurance. It requires discernment. It requires a heart that's been with me in the wilderness. Not just a heart that's heard about me. And child, you've been with me. In the silence, in the confusion, in the pain. You stayed, and that matters more than you know. You didn't choose the battles you faced, but you chose not to walk away from me. And for that, I am pouring out favor that can't be explained. For that, I am unlocking doors you didn't even knock on. For that, I am shifting your atmosphere. Because you didn't need to be perfect. You needed to be faithful. And you were. Quietly, tearfully, faithfully. So now I say, let the weight fall. Let the shame go. Let the guilt be washed away. You are not being dragged forward anymore. You're being lifted. The heaviness you've lived with is becoming the strength you will walk in. The tears that stained your pillow are becoming the oil that anoints you. The silence that hurts so badly is becoming the voice of authority within you. You are not the same person who entered that fire. You are coming out refined. And soon, very soon, the same people who saw your breakdown will witness your breakthrough. Don't lose heart now. Don't get distracted now. You are inches away from walking into what I designed long before your pain ever began. This next season will not require your hustle, only your surrender. So open your hands, lift your head, and prepare to walk like the royal child you are. My beloved child. Everything you've walked through has been building toward this moment. Not just a change in season, but a change in identity. You're not just stepping into a new chapter. You're stepping into a new name, a new anointing, a new way of walking that no longer matches the pain you've been through. This is not just healing. This is holy transformation. You've survived storms that were meant to silence you. You've endured warfare that came to break your mind. And still, you stood. Maybe trembling, maybe barely, maybe in silence. But you stood. And now, I stand for you. This next move I'm making in your life will not require striving, only surrender. I'm not asking you to prove anything. I'm asking you to trust me again. I'm asking you to stop rehearsing the failures and start expecting my faithfulness. I'm asking you to let me breathe into the parts of your soul you've locked away. You don't need to understand how I'll do it. You just need to be willing. Because what I'm about to pour into your life won't make sense to others. And that's the point. This isn't about proving anyone wrong. It's about proving my love for you right. I'm removing people who can't go where you're going, and I'm sending ones who carry keys, not confusion. I'm restoring the things you lost, but not the way they were. I'm giving them back with my fingerprint on them, reshaped and refined, so they bless you instead of break you. That dream you gave up on, I didn't. That prayer you stopped praying, I never stopped answering it. That fire you thought had gone out, watch me breathe it back to life. But child, this time, walk differently. Don't go back to the places where your peace was stolen. Don't settle for relationships that demand your silence in exchange for love. Don't shrink yourself to be tolerated. You were never created to survive in pieces. You were created to live in purpose. And that purpose is calling now. Heaven is leaning in. The earth is shifting under your feet. The same voice that created galaxies is whispering into your spirit. Rise, my child. It's time. And when you rise, things will change. Doors will open. Chains will fall. People will notice. And even those who walked away will have to admit, God's hand is on you. You're not who you were. You're not stuck in what you've been through. You are walking in resurrection. You are carrying redemption. You are the living proof that pain cannot cancel purpose, not when I'm involved. You will be the one that generations speak of, the one who broke the cycle, the one who turned the story around, the one who didn't give up when it would have been easier to quit.